Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Sciria, and that is
Robert Harding.
there we.
I forget now. After not being able to say your name for a year.
Yeah, and this is the Citizen Sports Weekly, and I'm not going to say the date because Robert didn't mention it when I was gone last week. So I'm back, and I guess me saying the date is, the timestamp is not a good idea. So I'm going to drop the date now. So, anyways, we're going to do 6 NFL picks this week. And before we get started with that, I want to thank Jonathan Monfiletto for filling in for me last week. I thought he did an admirable job. And it's always nice that we have a reliable fill-in to step in when one of us is gone. And with that, Robert wants to discuss the latest Buffalo Bills quarterback controversy.
Controversy?
Yeah, controversy. Well, I guess you could say issue, dilemma, desperate measures, that kind of thing.
Well, as you know, I've written about this, and
well done, by the way.
Oh, appreciate that. And my major beefs with it, stem from the fact that we're 4 games in. EJ Manuel, you can pan how he's played in the first 4 games,
right.
But really in the first 2, he got the job done. He managed the game. I thought he had some issues at times hitting his receivers, but his numbers were good, good enough for the Bills to go 2-0. But then in the last 2 games, they relied on him more. They were a pass-first team, and they lost both games. I'm shocked. You have 2 running backs, C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson, and they did not use them enough in the past couple of weeks, and it's hurt them. It's hurt them as a team. It's hurt the offense. This offense is by no means one of the best in the league. It needs some work, and between the play calling and many other elements, including the offensive line, it just hasn't been a good go of it for the Bills. So, we'll see what Kyle Orton can bring on Sunday against the Lions. He's obviously a veteran, 75 starts, I believe, in the league, somewhere in that neighborhood. But, we'll see how he does. Obviously, the Bills, in making this move, I think it says they want to throw the ball a lot. They have Sammy Watkins,
right.
Obviously, Mike Williams, Robert Woods, and I think that's where they want the offense to go. And disagree with it, but apparently that's what the Marone-Hackett regime wants.
Well, and, it's a panic move. I hate to be so drastic, but it is a panic move because right. You have a new owner who's going to be taking over in a matter of weeks, basically. Yeah. And you've got a coach who knows that if he doesn't win now or doesn't do something, he's going to be out. Yeah. And E.J. Manuel is not ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, or at least not to be a one that can lead you to victories, who can carry you. Okay, he's not at that level yet. And you look at the Dolphins and the Jets, other teams in the AFC East, and they're basically having similar issues. The Jets have not benched Geno Smith yet for Michael Vick. They've lost 3 in a row. Rex Ryan. If he's going to go down, he's going to go down with Geno Smith. I guess you could say that, at least for now. Obviously, next week we'll see what happens. And then, the Dolphins, there was a lot of talk last week about Tannehill being benched or who knows what. And he played very well, although it was against the Raiders, so there's a little caveat there. But he played very well and won, and that basically got the vultures circling around him to disperse. So. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these 3 teams. And we're not going to talk about the Patriots. That's a whole other thing there with Tom Brady. But I don't think Tom Brady is really the big problem in New England. But I do think that E.J. Manuel, Geno Smith, and Tannehill there are the big problems in those three other AFC East teams. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And by the way, so the Jets are 1-3. Right. And the Bills, Dolphins, and Patriots are each 2-2, right?
That's correct.
Now, the Bills and the Patriots both play this week, right?
Yeah.
And both could lose, right?
That's right.
They could each be 2-3.
That's right.
Right, and the Jets could be 2-3. And then Miami, who was on their bye, 2-2. The Dolphins could have sole possession of first place in the AFC East as of Sunday night.
I knew this. I knew this had.
Hey, when you're a Dolphins fan, you got to take any type of victory you can get. Okay, we have sole possession of first place in the first week of October. I'll take it. I want to win the thing, obviously, but baby steps. We got to start. So, all right, let's jump into the picks here.
Sounds good.
What do you got them all memorized? I don't see any cheat sheets or anything.
I memorized my picks.
You're brilliant, man. I tip my cap to you.
I'm a made-for-TV host.
First game is Chicago at Carolina. Now, the Bears, they got embarrassed at home last week by the Packers, and it was not a good game. Embarrassed.
I got you.
Panthers didn't look too good either, but I like Carolina home. I think they're a better home team. The Bears, could win this game, but I like the Panthers. I like the rebound, and I like Carolina in this game.
I'm picking the Panthers too. Like as you said, it's really a battle between two teams who struggled last week. And Carolina, if you go back the previous week too, had a big loss. So they've had a couple of bad weeks and looking to rebound. And I think this is a good game for them. It's home. It's against the Bears. The Bears are kind of a streaky team. Obviously they beat the 49ers, but then lose at home to the Packers. So who knows what could happen, but yeah, Carolina.
Okay. Our next game is the Battle of the Lone Star State. Cue the Dallas music. Okay. We have the Texans at the Cowboys. Yeehaw! All right. No insult to my Texas friends. I only have one Texas friend, but I don't want to insult him. This is going to be a good game. You got 2 3-1 teams. The Cowboys, nobody expected the Cowboys to be 3-1. They're actually playing some defense, and Tony Romo hasn't done anything really boneheaded yet to lose a game, and they're 3-1. And then the Texans, nice little rebound, with their new coach and everything, and they played well. But we got Fitzpatrick versus Romo. Cowboys are home. I like Romo. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans win because I think they have a better defense than Dallas, but I like Romo here. I like the home crowd. I like Dallas in this game.
You know why Dallas is having so much success right now? DeMarco Murray. They're running
They're
the
running.
ball.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Dallas will beat Houston.
All right.
I think Houston's record 3-1's a bit deceiving. They did beat the Bills, folks. So.
And speaking of the Bills, that's our next game. Buffalo at Detroit. Ralph Wilson, if he was still alive, would probably be at this game since he lived in Detroit.
Yeah, if he was healthier. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, if he was still alive. Moment of silence for Ralph Wilson and the Bills. No, I'm just kidding. We'll continue on here. Detroit, again, here's a team where I think a coaching change has done a world of good. They've always had weapons, and I think they're just playing with more confidence now. The Bills are reeling, and yes, Orton is starting, veteran quarterback. Can he provide a jump start? I guess we'll find out, I think, that being said, I think Buffalo is going to try to run the ball more this week. But I like Detroit, and I think they're going to beat the Bills. I already know who you're picking because you always pick against Buffalo, right?
Well,
go ahead, surprise me.
Well, here's my rationale for picking Detroit. So,
okay.
So Bills are obviously the road team. I think this game favors the Lions. Detroit just beat Green Bay at home a couple weeks ago, I believe. So. The Lions are looking real good this year. But, I think the biggest thing here is, the X factor in the game is Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Bills. Former head coach of the Lions. Right. How much is he going to help? I think a lot of people had this game circled on their calendars for the Bills as a game that, with Jim Schwartz on their side, that they could win. Because, obviously he knows more about Matthew Stafford and the offense and this whole, the entire team than anybody on the Bills right now. And obviously the Lions have some changes there, but, I think he can certainly help. I see this really as the first must-win game of the season for the Bills.
Oh, I think when you're 2-2 and you change quarterbacks, it's definitely a must-win. No doubt about it. So
it's really on the coaches. You make this change, you bring in this new quarterback, and the goal, on the surface is that you did this move to win. All right, here's your first test. Are you going to pass it or fail it? I think they fail it. I think Detroit wins.
All right. Our next game is Baltimore at Indianapolis. The Colts got off to a little bit of a slow start. Baltimore's off to a very good start. They're 3-1. That being said, I think Andrew Luck is one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He's playing at home. I think home field really does matter in a lot of NFL games. I really feel that way. This is a game where I just like the Colts. I like Andrew Luck. I just like the Colts a lot in this game. Yeah,
I'm with you on the Colts. What they've done the past couple weeks has really been impressive, and Baltimore's looking good. This I thought was the toughest game to pick all week, even though Indianapolis is favored at home. Baltimore is certainly better than I think a lot of people gave them credit for going into the season. So, but I'll take the Colts by a field goal.
All right, our next game is a good game. Kansas City at San Francisco. The Chiefs got off to an 0-2 start, and they beat Miami. Then they absolutely walloped New England on Monday night. The Niners, they won last week, a big game. They needed that game. They were 1-2. It really was a must-win for them. They're still home. Chiefs coming off a short week. I always think that plays a factor. San Francisco being at home for the umpteenth time. And I think that Kaepernick plays a solid game. Although, think about it, Alex Smith's return to the Bay Area, too, which ought to be interesting. Mm-hmm. This might be a close game. That being said, I do like the Niners.
Yeah, it's tough to pick against the Niners in this one. That win last week was good, and they again, kind of a streaky team. Lost to the Bears, and we were just talking about the Bears earlier. But yeah, I think the Niners will win comfortably.
All right, our last game, and we've picked the same teams for all 5 so far.
Yes.
There's one game left. I think this is the one where we're going to differ. It's my opinion, my hunch. Cincinnati at New England. Tom Brady. Boy, I'll tell you, man, this is amazing. All of a sudden, has Tom Brady lost it? Has the decline started? Well, the thing is, and I think if you follow football, you know this, it's not really Tom Brady's fault, okay? It's basically Bill Belichick's fault because he really has no offensive line, no running game, and not much of a wide receiver core. And the Patriots are horrible on defense, That being said, there's something about Bill Belichick in a primetime game with Al Michaels doing the call and Chris Collins. I remember a game last year. I forgot who they were playing. Maybe it was I think it was the Broncos, where the Patriots looked dead to rights, and they made some special teams plays, and they came back and they won that game. Call me crazy, and then the gut is back. I like New England to silence everybody at least for 1 week and beat the undefeated Bengals.
Since you held people in suspense with your pick, I'm going to add a little suspense now. Let's see. The Patriots lost to who in Week 1?
If they had lost, who they lost?
Who they lost to?
Oh, they lost to Miami, of course. Yeah.
They barely beat the Raiders at home.
Right.
And then they got creamed last week against the Chiefs.
Well, yes.
I'm taking the Bengals.
All right, there we go. I knew he was going to take the Bengals.
Bengals by double digits.
Whoa. Here's the thing. If the Bengals do win this game, and this is large by, I think it says the Bengals are the second best team, maybe arguably the best team, the AFC, with Denver.
Yeah.
Okay. And San Diego can be in that conversation too, but that's for another time. But if the Bengals can go into New England and absolutely wallop the Patriots, there's that word again, wallop. There we go. Trounce the Patriots, easier to say. Then I would think that they're arguably, you could say like, hey, this team could go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Bengals in the Super Bowl, first time in 26 years.
Wow.
Since Super Bowl 23 in 1989.
Yeah.
When they lost to the Niners. So that should be interesting. So
yeah, I'm not.
No, it's early.
The Patriots,
it's too early.
The Patriots. I mean, they could bounce back. They've had slow starts like this before, but that game against Kansas City and the game against Oakland and the loss to Miami. You just look at this team and you wonder, what can they do to bounce back? I mean, it's the running backs just aren't dynamic. They don't have any big receiving targets other than Gronk, and Brady is looking average.
This is where Bill Belichick earns his big money.
Yeah,
Seriously, if you're that good a coach,
you hope.
If you're that, hey, I'll tell you, when Don Shula, man, say what you want, but when that guy faced adversity, he found a way. And usually they won those games when they had injuries and different factors and things. So we'll see what happens.
Well, they ain't winning this one.
No, okay. Well, we'll see what happens. So that's it, folks. We appreciate you watching our fine video product here on the YouTubes. Sorry, YouTube.
Wow.
I'm just having a little fun here. It's good to be back.
What are you, 20 years old?
I missed this last week, man. It was fun. So anyways, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next week.